And so as you're leading, you start creating this for yourself. The money, the brands are going to fuck with. They see like, oh, this guy's a leader in his industry. He's a leader amongst his people. As people offer him, they ask him for advice. That's why I encourage people to have conversations.
If you're at home and you're chilling, like, you're a chill guy.
Yeah.
But if you're like stepping on a stage, or you're like talking to a crowd,
right,
or perhaps you did a meet and greet at the gym with like the people, then of course you're gonna get all hyped up and shit.
Yeah.
But you have to know when those things
time and a place.
Time and a place.
But nepotism, first of all, it's alive and well.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter. It happens in the corporate world, and if it happens on the court or on the field, what does it matter as long as a person is talented, right?
And he's been trained by professionals all of his life.
Bro,
that man's been built. He's been literally groomed to be an NFL player. Like,
yo, welcome back to the rawest corner of the culture, where fitness meets fashion, money meets mindset, and we all got something going on. No days offline. This is episode 3.
Yes, sir.
You joining Nico, T, and my boy Costa back.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
It's all love today, man. It's all love.
love.
It's a good feeling in there. We ready to chop it up like the bros do.
Yes. God is good, man. God is good.
Absolutely, bro. Life is blessed. And
Absolutely.
It's crazy. We all talking about like all the stuff we got going on.
Mm-hmm.
And, everybody's blessed right now. We got momentum going, especially with all this, and you guys joining us. We appreciate that for real.
Definitely appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, bro. Taking time out of the day to sit here with us for a little bit and just chop it up and give your opinions and all that, bro.
Absolutely.
But speaking of big opportunities,
yes, sir.
Let's get into it, man.
Bet.
How we feel about the Shaduer Sanders situation, man? How do we feel about it?
Blackball. Blackball. No, I say, we were talking about this. I think it's not a I think the NFL is just trying to send a message. That's all.
I agree.
I think the NFL is just trying to send. This is probably the biggest time to send the message, especially with social media and the way the NIL and the way that players are being compensated outside of the league and with contracts, and other endorsement deals that are like on a bigger stage, especially for younger athletes. And the younger athletes are trying to brand themselves, before they get into the league. I think the NFL is trying to send a message like, no matter how big your brand is, our brand is bigger.
I think so, and I think it's a control thing. I think you see like the NBA. The NBA is controlled by the players, really.
Absolutely,
I mean,
it's a players
for real.
For the most part, it's a players organization.
And I think it's easier because the roster sizes are smaller.
Right.
I feel like NBA players are more recognizable. They don't wear all this gear to play a sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier to.
It's a lot more influence with culture and everything.
Exactly, right? So you get a louder voice. Now, when you got somebody like Sheduer, where it's like, bro, he's been on TV since he was a young, like, what Shaduer Sanders look like if you follow football.
Absolutely.
Especially if you know who Dion is, right?
Absolutely.
But that's an expensive lesson, man.
That is.
From $48 million as a first round pick to the 5th round where he's only going to make like $4 or $5 million.
Absolutely.
That's expensive.
That hurts the pockets for sure.
Oh, absolutely. But
no matter how much money you make, bro, 40, what you said, 45 to 4 million?
48 to 4.
48 to 4. Yeah, bro. That's a lot of M's to give.
That's a lot of L's to take, bro.
That is a lot of L's.
Luckily, he's a blessed individual, and like life is good for him, bro.
Right.
Like luckily, right?
Right.
But I think overall, I think that's a great example of how your brand may be too strong for other brands.
And it can be. That's what's funny part is like when you're building a personal brand, you're really building a personal brand to sell yourself and to sell your product. But when you are, trying to connect and partner with an organization or a brand or company, you kind of gotta abide by their rules. Yeah, you know what I mean, and what they got going on. No matter how big your brand is, you're never going to be bigger than the brand that's going to hire you. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And especially with the NFL, it's been like that, especially, we can go into the call of confidence. It's very similar that, he was, he's one, he's very talented. 2, his conviction and confidence in himself is above. It's unlike most human beings. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he's Deion Sanders' fucking son.
Yeah,
come on, let's
it's
be
in
honest,
the household,
bro.
right?
Yeah, this is prime time. It's in the
household.
This is prime time, bro. Everybody knows prime time is the one of the most confident people on to walk this earth.
Absolutely.
But he backed it up. And I think Shaduer is going to do the same thing. Honestly, I think he's going to prove a lot of people, wrong. I don't even think wrong because he's a good player. Everybody knows he's a good player. I just think this instance going to put a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's going to take shit to the next level and really prove his point. And then you definitely going to hear his daddy.
No, absolutely.
Well, I mean, if you guys, that's a $40 million fumble.
Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't really quite matter how big your personal brand is. I mean, unless you're LeBron or some
Right.
shit like that, right?
Yeah,
that you're
yeah,
already like stacking millions.
Right.
Gary Vaynerchuk, CEO of VaynerMedia.
Yeah.
He had dips on the first rounds when Uber was looking for funding.
Oh, I remember this.
And he said no.
He said no. That means
And in many, many interviews, he talks about how that left a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm very sure it's going to do the same thing for this cat.
Oh, same thing. He's gonna.
Yeah.
I think he's going to. Well, I'm praying that he turns up. I'm gonna buy me a little Shaduer Sanders jersey. Just to
We on it.
support. You know what I'm
We
saying?
on it.
Just because like I don't like how they did, bro. You know what I'm saying? As a confident man with conviction myself, as all of us are, to see someone go through that based just off of his self love and self worth for himself, he didn't deserve that. So for that, I'm rooting for him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
I feel
bro.
like everybody else is rooting for him too, because it's like, yo, like, you know. Yeah, the NFL's message might be you know, strong, but the culture's message is 10 times stronger. Believe
Absolutely. I mean, that's why, bro. I'm a Colorado fan still, bro.
Facts.
And I'm on a bandwagon. And you know what? Cleveland Browns, show me how to welcome to the dog pound, man, because we there.
that. We there.
Bro, I'm there.
Oh, me,
'Cause
we
at the end of
there.
the day, we talked about it, right? Like, it wasn't about talent.
Right.
Man, like, this kid was the number one sacked quarterback in the nation, right? But still, like, top 5 in every other stat and a Heisman hopeful.
Yeah,
the talent was there to be a 5th round pick.
Facts.
There were 6 other quarterbacks taken before him,
They were trash, bro.
and he was ranked number 1, if not number 2, on most boards.
Right.
So that just speaks to you, man. And it's kind of like how we spoke last week, like with Instagram kind of suppressing creators.
Right.
Man, ultimately, the corporation gonna make sure they eat before everybody else.
100%.
So it's like even the people hating on him, it's kind of weird because it's like fall in love with the corporation over the individual winning. With that individual, he may be in a different situation, but he represents you
Absolutely.
in the same way.
I agree. I think he represents a lot of people. He represents a lot of young black males. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
Absolutely.
You know, giving. You know, he has a voice. You know what I'm saying? It's an encouragement to like. To young black men and just men, young men in general, to like, yo, like you could still do your thing and you could still, you know, be confident in conviction. Yeah, you know, it might come off wrong to some people because they're not as self-aware as you are.
Exactly.
And so that rubs people the wrong way. And just like anything, you know, like we said this on the last pod, you know, what is it? Secure people make insecure people uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And he's just secure with his talent. You feel me? And that just makes a lot of people uncomfortable, even fucking coaches, GMs. You know what I mean? Because, you know, obviously we're talking about his daddy coming in and being a coach in the NFL. He's just like LeBron. He wants to play with his son. I'm sure Deion wants to coach his son in the league. Yeah. You know, and people talk about, just like you're talking about, go into about nepotism, about what you were talking about earlier.
To me, personally, right, everyone has their own feelings about it. But nepotism, first of all, it's alive and well.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter. It happens in the corporate world. And if it happens on the court or on the field, what does it matter as long as a person is talented, right?
Right.
Even in Bronny's case.
Right.
Like, Bronny may not have had the talent to play in the league right away, but he's a later round pick.
Absolutely.
And he balled out in the G League.
Absolutely.
It's development, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like, this kid should have a chance. You know why? His genetics are probably better than the average kid.
Absolutely.
He has had more opportunities around this sport growing up than most other kids. So why does the nepotism matter?
Not at all. And he's been trained by professionals all of his life.
Bro.
That man's been built. He's been literally groomed to be an NFL player. Like,
Bro, do you know who trained him?
who was it?
Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, Tom Brady. It was Tom Brady. I
Tom
forget.
Brady
It was Tom
trained
Brady.
this
Yeah,
man.
they're close.
Bro, he's got the blood of Deion Sanders in him, and the skill of Tom Brady. Not the skill.
Not the skill. The training.
The training of Tom Brady.
Yeah, and that says a lot, bro.
That says, bro,
The kid's destined to be great.
he is. So I can't wait to see, you know, Cleveland finally winning again and, you
pray.
know,
I
getting
think
some
they
dubs
won
under
shit.
the belt.
Facts. Let's pray they get some dubs because, Jesus, I mean, you got the whole culture on the side, so let's pray
Let's
they
go
go
with 'em,
crazy.
bro.
Yeah,
We run with 'em.
Facts.
And, you know, even so we talking football. So I heard some news recently about a certain football player. I don't know if you know who Kadarius Toney is.
I do know who Kadarius Toney is.
Yeah, he got drafted by the Giants, moved around, ended up with the Chiefs, got released by the Chiefs. I think the word is he's got some troubles outside of football or whatever. You know, he had issues with drops and stuff like that. But now he is retired and he wants to be, or he's going to be, a rapper. So we've seen this done before, but the pivot from athlete, taking your brand from athlete to musician, Like that's a big pivot. Am I wrong?
No, that's facts. I think there is a true art in the ability to pivot. It is an art form. You have to do it tastefully. You have to do it smoothly. You have to do it. It has to be planned months and months or even years ahead or even months ahead. I'll give you years because it has to be tasteful. You can't go from one extreme to be, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, now I'm just all of a sudden I'm a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you can tastefully do it while you're in the league, make music. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if you do decide to say, yo, I'm done with the league, I'm done with football because your music is taking off, it makes more sense. But for an individual, just be like a raw wide receiver or a raw running back, and also like, oh man, like this ain't working for me no more. Yeah, I'm a rapper. Yeah, it just I don't see how I'm not gonna take you. I personally am not gonna take you serious, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. First of all, I'll be mad at you for turning down millions of dollars playing a sport to become a rapper. And rappers, hate to break it to y'all, rappers aren't as rich as y'all think rappers are, bro. They're not. They're not.
Advance costs you.
Yeah. They're not as rich as you think. So for someone to turn down a football career where you're making millions of dollars, become a rapper, that's just weird to me. I will never understand. I will never understand that. You know what I mean? Some people just aren't meant to rap. You know what I mean? That's okay. And that's okay.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've seen it done successfully.
Name some
So
name
off
some
top,
people.
Dame.
Yeah, Dame. Dame is solid. Dame can rap.
Dame.
See that is a prime example of like
doing it in the league.
Yes, doing it in the league and still rapping and being good at it. You know what I mean? That's tasteful. I like that. So if he decided like if he was done retired, he can rap. Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, they can rap for sure. So I agreed.
We all know Kobe and Shaq had their thing with they did their thing.
Oh, we gotta play clips on the pod of their rapping and stuff like that.
But LiAngelo Ball right now, he's on a run.
He is on a run.
He's on a run, and that's branding too. Even like the whole thing with Neon and getting on the pod and playing it at the right time. Timing
was everything because his league. I mean, doing it especially while his family is still relevant. I think his family will still be relevant on social media for a long time because of what LeVar has done for his sons and the platforms that LaMelo's turned in. He was the youngest one. Has turned into the best out of all of them. I
his
think
brand,
bro,
blown up.
Bro, especially amongst. So think about when Kyrie was at Nike, his audience was like middle school, high school kids. Yes. That's why his shoe was the #1 sold basketball shoe at Nike. No one really knows that, but his shoe was the #1 sold before Nike did that, whatever. His shoe was the #1 sold basketball shoe for all their athletes. Yeah. And so I think what Puma's doing with with LaMelo and what he's doing, the brand that he's created is beautiful. And then also having his brother, obviously he was trying to go to the league and stuff like that, and it just hasn't worked out for him. I think transitioning into music, he has the look, he has the money. Yeah, he don't even need the deal, really. No, he can put out music based off the brand that they've created. So I thought that was it was a tasteful transition.
I agree, and just a little tip in there that I don't think people picked up. If you want your brand to grow and succeed, the easiest way is to market to children.
Absolutely.
That's just a little tip.
Yeah, you got to market because they set the trends, man. Yeah, kids set the trends, man. Like anywhere from middle school to high school, they are the trendsetters. And if you can market to them and get them on board with the project or get them on board with the brand or a mission or anything of value to them, they're gonna rock with you.
It's an easy sell.
It's an easy sell.
Easy sell. But back to the musicians. One that I don't know, you may know. Do you listen to country at all?
Hell no.
So I listen a little bit of country.
Yeah, I mean, more probably people listen. I fucking hate country music. But I just can't do it.
There's a dude named Sam Hunt.
Yeah.
Who actually, he played for the 49ers. I think he was like a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
And now he's like a big time artist.
Oh, he was backup quarterback?
He was like a backup quarterback or something like that.
For real?
He might have been practice squad even, bro.
Oh, wow.
But that's an example of like having no brand in the league.
Right.
But then excelling on the other side. So sometimes you have to make that pivot.
Yeah, facts. I mean, that's what's going to benefit your family, and that's what you're good at, bro. So I mean, some people are just gifted athletes. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily what they fucking want to do with their life. It's just that they're naturally good at that fucking sport, and so like they just did it because they knew it would get them from A to B. But the real things that they want to do is music. The real things they want to do is art. Sometimes they're just a vehicle.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? Not necessarily everything you're passionate about. It's not always going to pay you. You know what I'm saying? So you need a vehicle to get the money, and then so you can do the things that you're passionate about.
Yeah, it's just a way to get there.
Absolutely,
bro. And at the end of the day, like you're finding your own way.
Facts.
And like you said, like Sometimes ball don't work out, bro.
I'm an example. Ball didn't work out, bro. So I had to find a way. I wanted to go to NBA when I was younger. I thought I was like, okay, man, I'm kind of good. You know what I mean? I go to the league. Didn't work out. So the next best thing was Nike modeling. I got to be on a billboard next to fucking LeBron. I got to be in a commercial with LeBron. You know what I mean? That was a highlight of my fucking life.
Did you meet Bron?
No, bro. What's funny is that they took my video. I shot my video in Oregon. They shot his video in Miami, and they merged it together. But I was in the video. I was in the commercial. That was like my biggest selling point with my fucking brand at the time. I was like, yo, how many of y'all in a commercial with LeBron?
With LeBron.
How many of y'all are on the Nike website? How many of y'all are in stores? On the fucking in the front of the store? None of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, shit, I made it to the league. That was like, I'm in the league. You know what I'm saying? I might not get paid like the league, but I make a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? You see my face? Right there.
Me and Bron, same room. Running in one.
Oh, me. I'm like, okay, man. Yeah, we locked in.
I think that's a good segue into the next topic, because when we talk about LeBron, we talk about like the moniker of the king, right? Mm-hmm. And how he's I don't know if you would say he's created this persona or he was given this persona, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you're creating a brand and you got this image of the person you are, right?
Mm-hmm. I think it's of the person you want to become.
Person you want to become.
Most people sell themselves with their brand of who they want to become and not who they actually are right now.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
So now how do you think you draw that line between maintaining that persona but still being the authentic you and being able to bring that to not only your platform but sometimes in real life, bro? Like I know personally, like I said before, like I'm a smaller creator. Mm-hmm. But I've had people in the street be like, yo, Poppy, or like, yo, Pump Cover Poppy. It's like, It's weird at first.
Right.
But then you realize like, oh, that's the persona. That's the person I created.
Right.
But we in real life now.
Yeah.
Like, don't call me that shit, bro.
It's kind of like your alter ego.
Yeah, 100%.
And I didn't want to move forward from the music topic, right? Because I think there's something massive that you need to address. Yeah. And it touches on what we speak on, right? Personal branding, the culture, and what it is. And on the last podcast, we talked about the importance of your digital footprint, right? Yeah. What do you guys think about Kanye's recent track, Cousin, and how Dave Blunt came out saying that he was the one who actually wrote the track? The thing behind it, if you guys don't know too much about it, is Kanye's constantly being framed as an anti-Semitic and whatnot. And that's the perception of the public. Yet they don't know that it was actually another ghostwriter writing that. And the dude is not anti-Semitic.
Right.
What do you guys think about it?
I think Kanye just knows how to get people to talk.
Yeah.
He knows how to get attention, bro. He knows how to get attention online, but he also knows how to tell the fucking truth. Like, because some of the stuff he states, it's real. Like, it is really, really happening. But his delivery is he does it in a way that's going to stir the pot and get people talking. So I think Kanye knows exactly what he's doing. I think he's crazy sometimes, but he knows exactly what he's doing. And I also think that he's fighting to stay relevant, though.
That's true.
I think he's fighting to stay relevant. I think there's like people are outgrowing him, and I feel like, the Yeezy brand is kind of not falling off, but every day people were like, the graduation is, it was a great album, but
college dropout.
Yeah, that was a great album, but the shit he's doing now, like I don't know if I can rock with it. You know what I mean? But there's truth behind. If you look about historically behind the things that he's talking about, there's a lot of truth behind a lot of the stuff.
You know if you really think about it, it's like, sure, I appreciate the fact that he's trying to be the face of it, but I believe he should have handled that a little more smarter. With the resources that he has, he should have used another medium to completely attack that rather than himself putting, look at everything. Now, we're talking about fumbling the bag, right? 40 million. Let's talk about the impact on Yeezy's brand.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm kind of 50-50 with it, right? Because, like, bro, I'm a Kanye stan. I've always loved Kanye. That's my dude, bro. But I think there's this kind of meshes all our topics into one, and I really enjoy this conversation because he is a guy, to me, that has fell so far into the persona.
Yeah.
He can't climb out.
But that's some real shit.
It's too deep because he can't change it now. Now, do I think Kanye is crazy? Honestly, to a degree, yes. I think like there's a certain level of sanity that
delusion.
Yeah, delusion. That's a better way to say it. There's a certain level of delusion that you have to get to the I am a god stage. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, but now where do you draw a line where now you're talking about mental healthness? because that's very important, especially in those realms where they I mean, look at what's happening with Diddy and shit.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of months ago,
Yeah.
it's like the fuckery that goes on behind those doors. Like we don't even fucking know about.
No,
it.
you don't. But I think when you look at the level of chaos, whether it's chaos within that person's life or the chaos that they breed around them, right? You can tell the difference between someone like Diddy, who's doing it for and in my opinion, because obviously I don't know the guy, right?
Right.
But someone like Diddy, who's doing it for the power and the control, and because he can, it's like certain things. Like,
I feel like that's Kanye.
no, I feel like Kanye is doing it because it's sporadic, it's in the moment, and it gets people talking.
Yeah.
There's a certain level where you're like, you got to taper that out, right? And you got to like really talk to yourself and be like, hey, I've got kids, I've got family, I've got this, I've got that. Everything is riding on this.
Right.
And this can tank everything.
Right.
Like a viral moment isn't always the best thing.
No,
We've seen
it's
that
not.
from guys like 6ix9ine. Like a viral moment isn't always the best thing, right? As opposed to, like I said, like the example you use, like someone like a Diddy, like it's like, no, bro, like I'm running the game. I got everybody in my pocket.
Right.
I could do whatever the fuck
See,
I
like
want.
Diddy gives me Harvey Weinstein vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's really what it is. Because it's like, I think I've got this conversation all the time. Well, I talk about this conversation all the time because I think it's interesting, right? It's like people that have the access, like musicians. Like if you look like a Trey Songz and all the weird stories about him,
Yeah,
like
it's fucking weird, bro.
doing weird different shit, right? It's like, bro, like they become so desensitized to life.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
real life, to
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
They get everything they want.
100.
So it's like when it comes to things like intimacy, like money, like material items, they want bigger, more and more because like it's like a high.
Yeah.
And you can never get that same high again.
There's no bottom line. Yeah.
Yeah,
no bottom
like
line.
you don't feel anything. So it's like when like a dude like Drake is like, oh, like yeah, like I've got this many women I've slept with and I've done this and that. It's like, well, that's not really surprising because like normal things don't impact you anymore. You don't feel that anymore. So I think a Diddy, like when you got a guy that's having these mega parties with all these celebrities and he's sleeping with the most beautiful women in the world and he has the yachts and the house in Miami and like access to whatever he wants because he's Diddy. It's like, bro, like you said what to me? You know what I'm saying?
I feel a piece of shit.
I think.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
right? Like we're talking about catching attraction, right? Trey Songz, 6ix9ine, right? These are individuals that are known to be. I don't want to say the word radical, but confrontational up front, right? There's like this
Kinda
bad,
extremist,
there's like this bad stigma behind them, surrounding them. So at the end of the day, it's whether or not what kind of attraction you're trying to bring to yourself.
Right.
And that is the importance of positioning yourself accordingly to make sure you land those fucking deals that you're trying to sign up, right? Because at the end of the day is your social media is your online portfolio.
100%.
Absolutely.
It's so funny that we're talking about that because how we're talking about confrontational. I was thinking about this the other night. I'm like, I've thought about this for a while. I know if I personally, from my perspective, if I acted a certain way, I could blow my shit the fuck up, bro. I know if I was a lot more arrogant, if I was a lot more cocky, yes, I would offend some people, but I would also have people that were down because they saw how confident I was. But I would also have a lot of hate, would draw engagement, and it would blow my shit up. But I don't want that type of attention. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. I know there's things that I could do to blow my shit up to reach 1 million. I know for a fact. I know how to. I know myself. I know the psychology of a human being. Humans are very easy to trigger. Yeah. And once you figure out the psychology of and we're all, for the most part, our baseline of us, we're all the same. We're not the same, but we're all, the baseline of us as human beings is the same.
Yeah.
And if you find one way to trigger a human and get them to talk, it's an equation.
It's your human nature.
Yeah, it's your human nature, the equation to blow up. So it's like, that's so funny that you say that. It's like, you know, what are you willing to do for that attention?
Yeah.
How far are you willing to go for that attention? You know what I mean? And I'm like, there's some things I just can't do, bro.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's just in my and I would feel even saying some like even borderline cocky shit makes me uncomfortable.
I agree.
It makes me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm like, that just sounds so fucking.
It feels disingenuous.
Yeah, bro. It does not feel like me, bro. And I don't.
Yeah.
So I've tried to be cocky, bro. I really tried. Like, and I said that by talking. You know, my energy might come off a little different, but when I'm talking about like saying like da 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 da, like it doesn't feel right, bro.
I'm too chill for that shit.
Too chill, bro. I'm too
chill
laid
for that
back,
shit,
bro. I'm too
Like,
chill.
I don't care enough.
Yeah, facts.
Like, if you want to be the cool guy,
it has to be at the right setting, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're at home and you're chilling, like you're a chill guy.
Yeah.
But if you're like stepping on a stage or you're like talking to a crowd,
right,
or perhaps you did a meet and greet at the gym with like the people, then of course you're going to get all hyped up and shit.
Yeah.
But you have to know when those things
time and a place.
Time and a place.
But you know what? I've got a friend, and I was recently with him at the Jim Reaper's booth at the Arnold.
Yeah.
And he's a massive creator. He's a massive athlete, bro. He's got a ton of deals. He works with a lot of brands. Bro, this dude, for the 3 days we were there, every single person that came up to him smiled, shook their hand. Hey, how you doing? Had conversations with them.
I fucking love that.
Walked to the side, and bro, he's dog tired. I'm like, bro, like, you good? Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, this is what it requires. Like, I asked for this. It's not their fault that I'm tired. It's not their fault that I'm hungry. It's not their fault that I'm having the same conversation with every single person again and again. It's like, bro, I'm where I am because of them.
Right.
Not because of what I've done, like, but because of the support that they've chose to give me, the money they've chosen to spend on the products that I promote and put money in my pocket and help me build my businesses. So you know what? Every time they come up, I'm going to smile. I'm going to shake a hand. I'm going to pose with them. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to ask them about life.
Yeah.
There's two things that are very important that we need to address in that, right? Number one, the level of self-awareness that someone has to be, bro, to be able to process that to that level, radical.
Bro, yeah.
Number two, because I work in production, the amount of energy that you have to give to people, I bet you, by the time you're done with your community, it's the amount of focus and dedication and everything, like so much that you pour into your craft.
Yes.
Is just training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And flipping that switch is hard, bro.
It is.
Coming back to it is hard.
I did TikTok live for 6 months every night straight.
I remember it.
When I tell you how much energy that takes to entertain people on a live stream, bro, it is so hard and maintain their attention. It takes so much. It seems like, yeah, you know, it's easy, but like it is overwhelming, bro. And I'm the type of person, I invest into people, so like I'm really getting to know these people. So I'm taking in so many people's problems and so many people's things that they're going through, and I'm going through my own shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's heavy.
And so I'm taking all their stuff in while taking my stuff in, while also keeping a smile on my face, and still trying to like entertain and, you know, be of help. And it is a lot. Yeah. It is a lot.
I want to touch on something though, because where you did TikTok live, and this is for the person out there, you listener, that are trying to probably do this full time. Why don't you put everybody on game? What outcome did you get from live streaming and when I say outcome, right, it could be very broad, but I want you to give the specifics. If you feel comfortable.
Yeah, number one, I have no doubt.
Number one, of course, everybody wants to know the monies.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be specific, but you could, you know, dabble around it.
I'm just saying, I've seen the checks, bro.
And then number two, from the point that you decided to start streaming, how many followers from that point on did you grow?
Okay, yeah. So, okay, that's interesting. So I've told people like about it. You know what I mean? People are close to me. I'm in the middle of adding a section in my community on exactly how to do it. So
there you go. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. But it was upwards. I probably made it 6 months. It was upwards of like, you know, probably it was 5 figures. Okay. So it was a good amount of money, man. And it was from battling, and it was from just being genuine and getting to know and just vibing and getting to know people, investing into people. Majority of people that were on my lives were women. And so I got to know their kids. I got to know their things that they're going through. I've got to, you know, understand and see, you know, things from a woman's perspective and listen. And it also allowed me to provide my opinion from a male's perspective. So they enjoyed that, you know what I mean? And so it allowed me to get really close to these women, like, you know, really close. And they would gift me in these battles where you battled somebody else. And basically it was just like our team versus your team. And our team, they supported me in whatever I did. And a lot of these people had followed me on Instagram. Some of them have followed me on Instagram, and I had no idea, you know what I mean? But they have been following me for years, but then once I got on TikTok, started doing that, they're like, we never see you live. You've never been live before. This is your first time like live on a platform. I'm like, yeah, because, you know, I just never go on live on Instagram, but TikTok, you know, you could just get an influx of people.
TikTok's always better.
Yeah. And so that's what I did. And I was doing that for 6 months, man. And I made some good money. You know, I was blessed. And that's why I owe my ladies a retreat. I gave my ladies their hoodies. Like, there's things like outside, I'm like, I owe you guys that. That's why I took my top gifter to Meal de Agape to eat. I took her with us because I'm like, yo, like, I owe you. You know what I mean? Like, you were, shout out to best friend. You know who you are. I'm not gonna say names out loud. Best friend, thank you so much if you see this. She just hooked it up. You know what I mean? So it's cool. So it's like, you know, it's all about building relationships, just like anything you do. And like, I stand on that for everything, bro. I think I have a gift and the ability to build relationships with people. Yeah. And I think that's something that like you can definitely learn how to do, but I think I've been blessed with something that allows people to just like gravitate. And that's what it's built. It's built my following. I gained like, I don't even know. I probably even gained that many followers, to be honest with you, bro. Probably like 5,000 in 6 months. But it wasn't like, that's just from lives. Yeah. Okay. You know what I mean? But I had the same people getting on my lives every night.
So the traction that we've seen in the one that you have 300 and
that's a totally different. That's a whole different game. That's a whole different TikTok, bro.
All right.
Yeah. I have two TikTok. We're talking about my personal TikTok where I did that. That one. Yeah. Now that one grows.
Because I saw that's the niche that you're talking about. Yeah. So that's why I was linking it to that one specifically. I thought that's what you meant.
That one is a whole different. That's my theme page. That's a relationship theme page.
Okay.
And so that one's growing expeditiously, and I gain 100,000 a month on that page.
Shameless plug. What is it?
It's about relationships and, you know, basic things that women go through with, you know, men, and basically just offering again a male perspective.
Can you give out the handle?
Oh yeah, it's team TWCO.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, and I think that's fire though, because like you add another avenue of building those relationships.
Yeah,
that's something that like I don't think a lot of people get into, because one of the first things you showed me was, bro, respond to your audience.
Yeah.
And I think like people miss out on that, right? Because they're playing the cool guy role.
Yes. Or they try to streamline it.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. I've got certain people in my audience, bro. I talk to them every day. Mm-hmm. You know, when they're going through shit, like they hit me up and they talk. Now, sometimes I've had people that I had to like stop talking to because it gets heavy, bro.
Yeah, heavy.
And it's certain things like, bro, like I can't help you.
Yeah.
And it's draining me, and like, bro, nothing but love, but you have to seek help, right?
Absolutely.
But it's like, that's the thing. You still have to ensure that you're building that relationship, because at the end of the day, like even in the case of the TikTok Live, like these people are spending their hard-earned money.
Absolutely.
They're taking their time to spend time with you and support the things that you're doing.
That right there was what kept me going, because these people are actually, it's taking them away from their reality in life. Yeah. Their problems, that I looked at it from that standpoint, like they're getting on because they like my vibe, and it takes away from the problems that they're having in their life at that current time. It's like an escape, you know what I mean? And it's like, it felt good to do that. I can be an escape and make somebody fucking laugh and put a smile on someone's face, even though they're going through XYZ. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and my people would tune in with me every single night, bro. And it was like the same 11 women, about 11, tapping every night. Those are my girls, man. They were like, we were just locked in, you know what I mean? And then we had a Discord. I wake up every morning, good morning, queens, how y'all doing today? You know what I'm saying? But like, love. Yeah, bro, but it's just like, it's really just like, they knew I care. I talk to all of them to this day. I haven't gone live on that because I've been building different things. I just haven't had time. But it's still to this day, like I talk to them any chance I get. So it's cool.
So, and that's something that I want to touch on. Like you said, it's an escape, right? Mm-hmm. I took economics in high school because I'm just like a nerd sometimes about some shit. And one of the things that I've learned, one of the first things I learned in there is like, during the Great Depression, even though people didn't have money to buy food or whatever, they still went to movies. They still went to plays. Because through everything they were going, and this is a psychology thing,
absolutely,
right? And this is why I think content creation is almost recession proof. Because even though they didn't have the money to spend on their family and the certain things they had, they still wanted to escape their reality.
Yep.
So they scraped up their little monies and went to plays and went to movies and all these other things to still distract them from reality. So that just shows how powerful creating.
Oh, entertainment, bro. Entertainment, content creation is very powerful, just like you're saying.
I don't want to get old. Well, talking about nerdy, right? With great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, if someone is trying to become a public figure or something, you hear a lot of content creators saying, at the end of the day, I'm not going to recommend something to you guys that I wouldn't even do myself.
I'm big on that.
So it's super important, because if people are down bad and we have built a strong enough personal brand where they go ahead and they incline to give you their hard-earned money.
Yeah.
It is our fucking duty to make sure that the product that we're doing actually makes sense and it's worth their while. If not, fucking 10x on the investment that they're doing.
100%.
I'm big on that. And like, I won't work with a brand if I don't like their product.
Oh, same.
I can't tell you how many. There's brands that I've left because they've changed their formula.
Yeah.
There's brands that they've sent me stuff for free. Like, hey, post a video. No, take it back. I don't like it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I won't promote it. I don't care if I got a code. Code's coming down, links coming down, everything. Because you're not what you're supposed to be. And like, why would I tell my following to take something if like I'm not liking it? Like I told you, like my people follow me. Like I spoke before, the one brand I was with, I sold about 50, 60K in 4 or 5 months, right?
Did y'all hear this? Man, that's different.
and with my audience, but that's because my people rock with me, bro.
Right.
And even when I left that brand, people were hitting me like, tell me where you go next because I'm buying.
Oh, Nico, it's easy for you to say that, bro, because, you know, like I can't afford just being dropped by another brand, bro. What do you say to that?
Facts.
It's easy. It's easy. No amount of money is worth
Absolutely not
who you are. Your individuality, your authentic self. Forget everything else. Bro, the money's going to come. We all know that. Mm-hmm. You just got to be patient.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if a brand's going to do something like pull the rug out and change things or not represent you or represent what you're about, then that is more important to your audience than what they're going to provide you because you can find money anywhere else. You just got to be willing to go and look for that.
The money's there, yeah.
Yeah, it's bro, they're throwing money in the streets.
Yeah.
Brands
It's an abundant mindset, I think.
Bro.
Absolutely. It's definitely it's an optimism, pessimism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're abundantly thinking about the opportunities, if you lead by example, the money will follow. I got hoodies, you know, let me know. But if you do like in real shit, if you do lead by example and you lead your own brand, you lead your own way, people are going to follow naturally. The money's going to follow naturally. The brand's going to follow naturally because that's just like, we're all leaders, but we're all followers too.
I call it serving right.
Yeah.
Serving right.
Absolutely. Serving right. Cause I'm a follower. I follow people all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I fucking learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm also a leader in my own right that like, I'm not going to let nobody sway my morals and my values.
Exactly.
That's how I lead.
Exactly.
There we go.
You feel me? So there's that fine line. And so as you're leading, you start creating this for yourself. The money, the brands are going to fuck with. They see like, oh, this guy's a leader in his industry. He's a leader amongst his people. As people offer him, they ask him for advice. That's why I encourage people to have conversations in their comment section because it drives engagement. One, two, you're getting to know somebody freely, and you're constantly asking questions. Bro, I tell people ask questions, and so. Yeah, I would never sell myself short for any brand, bro. Yeah. For any brand, because it takes years to build a reputation, a brand, and it takes 2 seconds to fucking ruin it, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can build something, you can build all that trust, and the next thing you know, you're selling out to a fucking brand just to make some fucking money, knowing damn well you don't like that shit. That trust is gone, and it's not coming back,
Absolutely.
bro.
Okay, perfect example. What was this like super hot brand when social media was exploding? There's Mutant Labs or some shit like that.
I think. Are you talking about where Joey Swole and all those guys? Was it like Cuts Nutrition or something like that?
Alvin, I think, was one of the founders of.
Shreds.
Yes,
dude.
Yeah. There you go. So there's Shreds, but prior to Shreds, there was one called Mutation Nation or something like that with Valerio Orsini and some like OGs of the fitness industry.
Yeah,
that's what happened. They started like, I can't remember what was the whole scandal.
It was like pyramid scheme, bro. It was like
not only that, but man, you know what? It's not even worth going down the line. I can't recall the thought, but I remember it was like some big shit that they had done.
Well, they were photoshopping.
Not only that, exactly. So there was like multiple things. People too? Yeah. There was multiple things behind it.
Not very many people got out of that. I think Joey Swole's like one of the only people that rebranded because
Devin Physique?
No, Devin's gone, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
it's funny when I was younger.
Oh yeah,
I used to be like Devin Physique is dope, bro. Like
he had the Raptor.
Yeah, and he was like dice too.
Yeah,
he was like, oh, this motherfucker's cool as shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? I remember Shreds like no other. Her, Paige Hathaway.
Yeah.
It was so funny. I met Paige Hathaway at Whole Foods back in like way long time ago. I was like, what the fuck?
In a while, though.
Yeah, bro. But she was like
married, married and whatnot. Yeah.
But that's so funny with Shreds, bro. What the fuck? I remember fucking.
I think about them every now and again, bro.
Yeah.
But I be thinking of them like I ain't gonna be like that.
No.
Exactly. So that's one. And the worst thing about it, right, is whatever you do online, it'll fucking follow you forever.
100%.
Yeah.
It's not like back in the day, like like there was no cameras, maybe like, you know, like you fucking fell in front of everybody at the gym or something like that, and then boom, like 2 weeks later, everybody just had their laughs, and then that's it. Now you're the fucking main meme on a 1.4 million
page.
Yeah, bro. Like,
I want to be there though. I want to be the meme.
What does that do to your psychology if you're not strong enough to handle some shit like that?
Yeah, because that shit could fuck you up, bro.
Yeah,
in the wrong light, you can get the message you can get. They will affect. They can affect you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
As much as anybody, I don't care how much you say you don't give a fuck. If you're reading there, and if you're not reading the comments, okay, bet that's good for your mental health. But if you're sitting there reading, bro, it's gonna fuck you up, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like I said, like I understand like a weaker mindset individual. I don't want to tell you it that way. Someone that can't handle it, right? Mm-hmm. It'll break them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Me,
you thrive.
I want to be the meme, bro. I'm telling you, I'm arguing in the comments, all that. All that, bro. I want the click.
Call it upon yourself, dog.
Bro,
he gonna get everything he asked for.
He's gonna be like, yo, Chad, ease it out.
No.
I can't handle no more.
I love it because it's engagement, bro.
No, that's
because
fact.
at the end of the day, I know that storm will pass and the bag is on the other end of that.
That's valid.
Because you know what? At the end of the day,
I know people that are going right through it.
I'm going to ride it, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm going to lean into that because at the end of the day, that's going to be so much engagement.
Yeah.
I already know my numbers. My engagement is like 9-10%.
That's good.
Most times.
Fucking good.
That's
bro.
pretty good.
That's really good.
I'm trying to get at 30.
Like,
No,
you're usually talking like low one digit.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
so
facts.
that's pretty good.
And that's what I'm talking about because I know the value and the virality of that moment.
Oh, you need some haters.
Yeah, bro.
I don't have any. That's the only
that
that
makes me
sucks.
so mad, dude.
It sucks. Like I don't get haters on my page, bro. Like I had one the other day. I was excited. I'm about to reply with a video for this one in my head. And I was like, yo, I was excited, but it was something dumb. He was like. He's like, oh, look at this guy calling his followers crusty lips, and he has crusty lips himself. I was like, okay, first of all, dry and crusty are two different things. That was just disrespectful.
I
said dry, bro. I didn't say crusty. You know what I'm saying? You call my lips crusty. You feel me? So I put on ChatGPT. I was like, what's the difference between dry and crusty? And he's like, ChatGPT said, dry is you have dry lips, and crusty is you have dry lips. And it's just disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? It literally said that. Yeah, and I'm just like, see, that's some real shit. So I was like, that was my first little hater. I'm like, okay, I'm about to expose your ass.
Bro, I'm so mad I don't got hate.
I don't get much. But then again, I don't say much controversial shit. You know what I'm saying? I think if I really say some shit that I know I could say then I could really get some haters because I know there's people right now that are following me that are waiting for me to say some outlandish shit just so they can try to fucking cook me in the comments, bro. I know they're waiting to say some shit they don't agree with so they can say because there's one thing, bro. It's so funny how people come out the woodworks and when you say some shit that they don't like. If I talk about any type of fucking politics, bro. Yeah. Bro,
I stay with politics. That's one thing.
I stay.
That's one thing.
I think I did a couple times. I was talking about like George Floyd or some of this shit like that, and I was talking about how I didn't agree with what happened or something. Yeah. Motherfuckers come out the woodworks, bro. This now
people be too uninformed, bro, and I be wanting to hit that share button. And like,
nah, it's not even worth it.
That is not worth it. But if it's funny stuff that I cannot,
yeah.
But if we're talking about controversial, there's one topic we wanted to talk about, guys.
Which one?
That 100v1, 100 men versus one gorilla. Let's talk about it. Let me hear your thoughts. And like I told y'all.
Costa, you first, Costa.
All right, well, where my mind is going, I'm asking 1,000 questions already, like what the fuck? 1,000 men, all right, are we lining them up?
100 men.
100 men, okay, yeah. So we're lining up 100 men and then just by one, trying to wear the gorilla down or just 100, go.
How do you picture it going?
I think just 100 motherfuckers jumping the gorilla at once.
All right. So that's the standard we're going with. What do you think?
I think after the first 3 people get their heads knocked off and ripped in half, I think everybody else going to crumble and be like, hell no, I'm not doing this.
Well, I mean, there's going to have to be some front line.
Some casualties?
Exactly.
So who signed up to be a casualty? Who going first? You going first?
Hell no.
You going first? Okay, if no one's going first, then what? Because we know the first person is dead.
Oh, yeah.
The first person is dead.
But
so
the thing is out of 100 people, somebody's going to be the brave soul, bro.
I was going to say, let's go ahead and remove that variable. Let's just say whoever signed up with it, they knew that they have to attack the fucking gorilla. All right? Not like, oh, I stayed paralyzed and shit. No.
Hide behind the tree.
Yeah, so, I mean, if I'm thinking primal nature of a human being, it's fucking doable. They used to hunt motherfuckers
Mammoths
back in the day. Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly.
with sticks and rocks.
Exactly. So okay, so is that another one? Of
No
course,
weapons.
not
No
fucking
weapons.
weapon. Like no weapons, no sticks, no
weapons.
nothing.
There's not
weapons.
one punch or one chokehold or one anything or kick that you can do that is going to hurt a gorilla. There's not one thing. You can kick a gorilla as hard as you can. He gonna be like,
Yeah.
the fuck was that?
I got stats, bro, because it's like a heavyweight bout.
Is that GPT?
Oh, yeah, I had to, bro. I had to go to GPT for it.
You're not
So-
affecting a gorilla, dog.
So this is it, right? The average stats of a gorilla, right? The weight, 400 pounds. They stand about 5'5" on average. They can go up to 6 feet. The punch force is between 1,300 and 2,700 pounds, right?
What?
The bite force is 1,300 PSI.
How fast are they?
25 miles per hour. All right, bro.
Yeah, all right, bro.
If it was a weightlifting competition, they can squat 2,000 pounds on average.
Ronnie
Bench-
Coleman, who?
Bench press 1,200 pounds. Deadlift 2,200 pounds, and their grip strength is 1,300 psi. For a human, average weight 190. Average punch force between 325 and 775 pounds. Bite force of 162 psi. The top speed is 15 miles per hour. And, squat 350, bench press 250, deadlift 400, grip strength 120. Now, force to break a human bone. The max punch force, 775 pounds.
And the gorilla's at 27,000.
2,700 pounds to break a gorilla's
Yeah,
bone.
all right. Sorry, bro. There ain't no motherfucking
Now,
way.
I'm going to say,
Ain't no fucking way, dog.
I'll let ChatGPT run the simulation.
All right.
And I'm going to show y'all what we got.
Ain't no motherfucking way, dog. You gotta be drunk.
So, ChatGPT kind of broke it down into 3 rounds. It says all 100 men, average fitness level, gorillas, healthy adult, silverback, peak condition. Fight occurs in an open field, so there's no advantage, and no one runs, right? So it says in round 1, gorilla will charge. It'll kill the first 3 to 5 men instantly. Instantly. The rest instinctively hesitate or scatter. Within 10 to 20 seconds, the gorilla kill about 5 to 10 more, just off explosiveness. The round 2, they attempt to swarm. So 20 to 30 may rush simultaneously. And it says a silverback can throw men like rag dolls.
Fucking Loki and fucking the Hulk.
Yeah. Those approaching from the front risk skull-crushing bites or swipes. And maybe 1 or 2 manage to jump on his back and get thrown off. But then round 3 is where it gets interesting. Fatigue sets in.
Yeah.
Gorillas are not built for exhausted combat. So after 60 to 90 seconds of peak output, the gorilla gets tired. If 50 plus men remain, they could eventually dogpile and pin it down by sheer mass.
I told you it's too many bodies.
And it also says if 100 men rush simultaneously from all angles, they could overwhelm the gorilla. And they'll only estimated casualties between 10 and 15.
I'm not
If
risking
they all swarm.
See, is like, for example, like, I'm thinking primal instinct, like ripping eyes out,
Yeah.
fucking biting. I don't know if you guys have seen
Gouging.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
There's a scene with Rick Grimes, right? His kid is about to die, and the guy that's going to shoot him, he's getting ready, and then Rick is tied up, his hands behind his back, and all he has is his mouth, and he just goes for his fucking throat and rips it all out. And the guy dies, and they get away with it.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like, just going fucking primal, man.
Yeah, if you lock me in a cage and I'm not letting you out, then I'm gonna have to fight this gorilla, bro, because there's no other way.
I'm not winning that battle.
But this leads into that story I wanted to tell you.
What story?
So I'm gonna reform Crash Out, guys.
Okay.
Reform-
Wait. Okay, for
Reform
those,
crash out.
for those that don't even know what that means, please break it down.
Bro, I had a short fuse, bro. And I
Same.
used to be down to whatever it is, bro. So I got this story, and I want to see y'all's reaction to this. So I was at a club with a lady friend, and it was her homegirl's birthday.
Yeah.
The club, it was Old Town Scottsdale. You know? It was one of the spots back in the day. So she's with a bunch of homegirls. It's me and some of my homies. The girls see somebody that they know. They're like, hey, like this person's got a table. We're all going to go up there. And me and the homies were like, we're not drinking off nobody's bottle. We're going to go to the bar, do some shots, chill out. We're doing our thing. So Shorty comes down from the table after a while with her friend. And I hear her friend say, I can't believe he just pushed you. And I go, who just pushed you? I'm a man, bro. So it's like, you know, I'm a man.
Right.
So she's
like,
like,
gorilla mode activated.
she's like, oh, such and such pushed me. I'm like, all right, bet. Take the shot. I'm going to see such and such. Like, I want to know why you pushing Shorty with me. So if you pushing her, you pushing me.
Right.
So, you know, this club, they had the section. It was a big section. It's like 2-3 steps to get up into the section. So I go to step and security's like, nah, man, he don't want anybody up here. I'm like, that's cool. I don't know who you talking about. But I'm trying to see homie right here. No, man, you don't get it. Like, he don't want anybody up here. I'm like, fam, like, that's straight. I don't know who you're talking about. I'm trying to talk to homie up here. So I'm going back and forth with security. And homie's up there laughing, so it's making it worse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting hot. And then my boys come up. And it's like 3 of them with me. Hey, bro, chill. What you mean chill, bro? Like, nah.
Yeah.
They go, bro, you don't see who's up there? I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Crowd parts. There's a certain high-level MMA fighter.
Oh, shit.
Who was once suspended for drug usage. Sitting up there.
Yeah.
But my ass, I'm still like, I don't care. I'm not even trying to bother with him. What's homie talking about?
Yeah,
bro? You know, the girls part way and homie stands up, unbuttons his shit. I'm just like, bro, like, it is what it is at this point, right? But unfortunately, my homies grabbed me and pulled me out.
Unfortunately, you mean?
No, unfortunately. I'm going to tell you what. It's a win-win situation.
You gonna sue?
Bro, hell yeah. Bro.
You know, hey, them pauses, hey, they registered, so you know, I'm getting me a bag.
Hey, I'm getting a bag, bro. And if I whoop them, Dana White calling me, bro.
Yeah,
so
that's valid.
I wasn't whooping them, though.
Yeah, no, I doubt it.
But I was definitely getting the bag.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, realistically, right? Like, MMA fighters roll with MMA fighters. Maybe the homie that you're looking over there could have just fucking...
So here's part 2 to the story. Here's part 2 to the story. This specific guy, when he was out in Scottsdale, he didn't really roll with other fighters. And I know this because when I was promoting out there, I ran into him again.
Are we talking about the curly hair dude?
No. I'll tell you off camera. I don't want to drop names.
There we go.
Okay.
That's fine.
But I ran into him again, and we're sitting in this section. We're chilling. We're chopping it up. Bro, he's cool. One of the coolest people that I've met in that position, right? And I was like, man, you know, this happened. Tell him the story. We're laughing about it. You better watch out before I do that shit to you right now. Oh, man, whatever. But he would whoop my ass.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Armbar. I'd have been.
Armbar. He said armbar. I'm out.
I'm done.
Okay, bet. Let's close it.
But, hey, today was a great conversation with the boys.
Absolutely.
Real chill. Great environment. Always here at Pivot Studios.
Yes, always
You
at
know,
Pivot Studios. You know the vibes.
Absolutely. You know, if you got a pod or anything you're trying to take there, man, Pivot Studios. My
Way
boy
to go.
Costa back there. Him and his team, they do great work.
Phenomenal job.
That being said, he's made this a home to us.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make it a home to y'all. So don't be afraid to come here, sit on this couch. The easiest way to do that, drop a like, subscribe,
Drop a comment.
Tell us what you like about it. Laugh at our stories, bro. Make me a viral meme. Do what
We
you
want to
gotta
hear.
do.
We want to hear your stories too of different things. How do you guys feel about the Shaduer Sanders situation? How do you guys feel about rappers turning or athletes turning into rappers? You know, this is a conversation for all of us. So we would love to hear your. And what else would you guys like to hear on the next episode? We would love to accommodate that and add that to our show and build our community.
Yeah, and also, man, we are accepting guests now.
Yes.
You feel comfortable enough for that?
Yes. We're excited to. Should we tell them the name of the guest or should we?
No. I
No.
think it's going
No.
to be exciting for the next one.
Okay,
Because if let's just say if you're into designing, let's just say if you're a content creator that's just trying to come up with its own sauce and stuff like that, you better stay tuned because possibly the next guest, it's going to be a golden nut for you.
And you've seen this apparel on,
It's places. But either which way, man, subscribe, like, drop the comments, you know, tell us how much you enjoy this, man.
Yeah.
And you know what?
We'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah.
The next one.